They say Newport was the capital. I know that the slaves and the Indians that they freed and said go fight, and then they didn't pay them or they cheated them on their wages after the battle or put them back into slavery. I'm aware of that history, but I'm proud that we had a first black regiment. I'm proud of many of the accomplishments that people in slavery made in Rhode Island and elsewhere. But by the same token, while I'm proud of it, I'm going to be careful to draw the line where I don't romanticize it. Because yes, I'm proud of those accomplishments, but by the same token, what they went through should not be forgotten. It should be. It should not be sugar-coated. And I think that's the danger, because Keith, he knows the history, and he has a great appreciation for the history. And when you hear him speak, his passion, he can do it without notes, and he can go on, and he has a love for the history. So I mean, I appreciate that, but I don't think that keeping the name Plantation is the answer.
You know, I want to make a point about, I listen to talk shows. My sense of the people who call up the talk shows, most of them are against it. You had a few callers that were for it. But it's kind of like free advice. I wouldn't worry about what they say on talk shows, because I think the people who call talk shows, I don't think they're really representative of the cross-section of Rhode Island. I think there are a lot of people who live by talk radio, love to call up every day and talk about anything, complain about a lot of things. But I don't think they're necessarily representative of the people of Rhode Island. Have you ever done any polls? Has this issue ever been polled by Brown University or anyone else?
Not to my knowledge.
That'd be worth doing sometime. Yeah. How do you think it's going to happen? Because we're looking at time too. How do you think, what's going to happen in the legislature with this bill now?
Well, the same process that's taking place in the community at large. It's going to be a matter of increasing awareness, and I thank God for Almac and Barry and Nick and their group, you know, lobbying the committee and advocating. So year by year, it's you know, sometimes the legislative process is very slow, but I believe we're picking up momentum. More people are being sensitized to the issue, and hopefully we're going to be successful this year.
What committee? Are there going to be hearings? I mean, there going to be hearings on it?
No, there'll be hearings.
Yeah, judiciary committees in both the House and the Senate. And just to follow up on that, we've gotten a resolution passed by Providence City Council supporting,
oh, yes, I heard that
supporting these two bills.
Very good.
We also have endorsement from Newport NAACP as well, and some other organizations. But we actually have memberships or supporters from Newport all the way up to Woonsocket. So we have a lot of support coming from this state.
This is probably as far as this legislation has ever got, from the distinction from the past. The number of people who are working on it in your organization, doing the lobbying and all that, you have a pretty good crew of people who are doing this, or is it just the two of you carrying the ball?
No, we actually, if we tally it up, we have over 300 supporters.
Would your organization and others be attending the hearings and testifying on behalf? Because that's important.
We'll be doing that. And I think another point of clarification, some responses that I've heard to this legislation is that how dare our lawmakers at the State House make this decision. And the fact is that they're actually not making this decision. What they're doing is pushing through the legislation. This will actually be a voter referendum. So if successful, if we can get it through,
it goes on the ballot.
It goes on the ballot as a question, and Rhode Islanders in general will have the opportunity to approve or reject the measure.
So let me see if I got this straight, because this is important to our audience. Rhode Islanders can have the opportunity to speak on this. All Rhode Islanders.
That's correct.
Assuming if the legislation merely passes. Do you want to make a pitch to the public to call your legislator and all things like that, Senator? By all means, this is the time to do it.
Well, certainly. We would appreciate the voters of Rhode Island that feel as we do that the word plantation needs to be removed from the name of this great state. Certainly, we would appreciate you calling the members of the House Judiciary Committee and our Senate Judiciary Committee, and you call out and write our members, email them, and certainly that's a big part of it, because people do listen to their constituents.
Also, this is not a black or white fight. This is a Rhode Island fight. This is not a situation where it should be divisive. This should be a fight about people of like mind making a like decision. A similar
Unfortunately, if you listen
decision.
to talk radio, it sounds divisive, but it isn't.
Yeah.
I personally don't think
Talk
it is.
radio, those people
You know.
are crazy.
Well,
The people who
unfortunately, they have
call-
influence, but I don't think they're representative.
They don't influence
of
a lot
of
of
the whole
people.
state.
I think a lot
Should
of
do a
people
poll on this
recognize
sometime. Maybe if the bill gets passed, it'd be
the
interesting.
local Rush Limbaughs of the
Well,
world.
if the bill gets passed, should think about doing a poll so you can gauge the public's interest, and then you can work on a campaign for approval.
Well, we would plan forums as well, because we'd want to have discussions with people throughout the state.
All right.
Yeah.
People who call into those shows in support are beaten down, cut off,
Yeah, well, I
talked
know.
over.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you really never get a good gauge on what.
Right.
And if I lived my life, or Nick and I and Senator Metz decided to listen to them and decide what we're going to do, we're in deep trouble. I think that the country is being progressive and moving forward. The state needs to get on board.
Well, questions for our guest there, Mr. O'Connor?
I think we've done just about everything we can within the time we have here, unless we had another half an hour, we could
We're always
have.
looking for more space. Anyway, where is it now? It's been referred to judiciary. Is that it?
Yeah, there'll be a hearing in the respective committees.
Now, what other organizations? And it's quick time remaining. What other organizations do you think you'll have coming forward to support this?
Well, if you look at the umbrella, OMAC is an umbrella organization, so it's several community organizations together. We're talking NAACP, Urban League, United Way, Progreso Latino, Rhode Island Latino Civic Fund, and many others throughout the state. So we'll probably get quite a bit of support from these organizations.
Okay, we're at that, as they say, the old clock on the wall. I thank you, gentlemen, all for being here.
Thank you.
I think it's a very important and sensitive issue, and I can say I support it. Here we are this week. I wish everybody a happy St. Patrick's Day, happy St. Joseph's Day, and if we only reflect upon our own experience as immigrants and try to respect, I think, the values and principles of others who were here before us, before the immigrants of the Irish and Italian and others came, maybe it'll be an eye-opener and you'll open your mind and think about this issue.
We'll have to
thanks
have them
again.
back again after
Thanks again
this
for coming.
legislation progresses.
So, it will. So do you want to say, have a note to say goodbye?
Arrivederci.
Arrivederci. So Joe Vileno saying so long now for Viewpoint, and as always, keep watching. And gentlemen, again, thank you for being here.
Thank
you
you.
for having
Thanks
us.
for having us.
It's a pleasure.